What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Podcast number 4. I got my man Oni Guillen here. You guys know him. We're going to hit a bunch of different topics. Most importantly, that's going to hit home, especially for me and my fellow Division I baseball player, Oni Guillen. We want to talk about the NCAA. Should players be getting paid? What else?
Well, I'm a pool player now. So today I'm a pool player. No, we're talking about the NCAA, everything that's going on with the athletes and should they get money. Talk about March Madness a little bit, maybe recap some baseball, and obviously, of course, it won't be a podcast without NBA basketball.
Hey, we're going to talk about the Rockets' 17-game winning streak. They're on a different level. I don't think they're going to do that well when it comes to championship time. But let's get into it. First topic, and we're going to talk about it a lot, but we're going to go bits and pieces. The NCAA. Tell me, do you think players should get paid?
Man, you know what? We've all lived it. We've all experienced it. Going through the NCAA experience and being whether that be a Division I athlete, Division II, Division III, these guys bring the university so much money, and the time that they put in, they work. They're like they're full-time employees.
Well, that's why you can't have a job.
Yeah, these guys. Oh, they don't. I don't think they allow you to have a job.
I've said that.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous.
You're not allowed to have a job in college as an athlete.
And that, I mean, you like we talked about it before the podcast. The gym, the work, the training sessions, the videos. Then you got to do 2-a-days. Then you got to go to class, and then you can't eat at night. Like some of these guys don't even have money to buy a pizza or whatever, and then they expect these guys to do all that stuff, and not. Here comes a guy, a booster or whatever. Here's like, hey man, here's a couple $100. Oh, I'm not allowed to take it. But they just sold your jersey for $100.
But then they also made a couple million off ticket sales. The thing for me, as a Division I athlete, that I played at the University of Central Florida, I was also suspended 15 games by the NCAA. So, as someone that has...
Why were you suspended?
We'll get into that. We'll talk about that. For improper benefits, they said that I was taking money from an agent. Being 5'8", I don't think that I should take money from an agent. I don't think a lot of people expected me. But if you have a prior relationship with someone before college, they state that that's fine. My mentor, who got me in trouble or whatever, the whole thing was, hey, I knew him since 7th grade. This is not someone that just offered me money as an agent. We'll get into that more, and I put that in the book. But as far as should players get paid, yes, I feel so.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think, and you had a relationship with that person that you said.
Yeah.
And when you were in college, did you feel like some tension? Did they kind of warn you and say, hey, this might happen?
Not
did
at
you
all.
know?
I mean,
it was just out of the blue.
It's out of the blue. I'm sitting in a conference with 10 officials, 3 schools. They took my bank records. They took my phone records. They took all my emails. I mean, I'm a 20-year-old kid.
That's scary.
Scary. That's my first time ever. I'm a 20-year-old kid sitting in the office.
You said, who did I kill? I fucking killed somebody.
What did I do?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was just here to play basketball. And the fact that, in all honesty, I know that I didn't do anything wrong. So it hurts me that I had to miss 15.
So you were at peace with the fact that I didn't do anything. I didn't commit a felony or harm, like kill anybody, harm anybody. You just said I violated some rule.
I can't even say that because to them I violated the rules, but in the rule book, if you have a prior relationship, you're not breaking the rules.
Yeah, because no college athletes ever take money from anyone. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. To a certain level, to a certain extent, these big colleges are paying guys tons and tons of money. And the NCAA, I'm sorry, but they're the most hypocritical.
Yeah.
They exploit these kids to make money, and then they tell the kids, well, we're paying you with education. Well, if that's the case, you guys are benefiting from these guys being out there, busting their ass, making your school money, and then all of a sudden they just, hey, 3 years, bye.
We'll see you later. Kick you out. And I'm going to jump off that. You have the guys who are putting in the time. You have the players who are going to practice every single day. That is who is making the money. I mean, don't get me wrong. The coaches, I respect them all. The coaches are making millions of dollars. The school's making hundreds of millions of dollars. The president of the university is making millions of dollars. The people selling your jerseys are making... Everyone is making money, but the people that's actually performing. And those are the people that should be paid. Am I saying, hey, make 100? No, I'm not saying that. But if you give these kids an opportunity to make money so that you don't have to go to boosters, that you don't have to go to the people who donate money and say, hey, listen, I go to this university, I don't have any money, I can't eat, I can't afford stuff, but I also can't work because they don't allow me to have a job. I mean, what do you do?
How much easier would it be if guys were like, hey, you come to college, you get paid X amount of money? Usually when you perform a job,
Yeah,
usually
you get
in
paid.
America, you get rewarded for paying. This isn't China or child labor that they do in the Philippines, whatever.
Yeah.
In America, if you do a job and you get paid, you should get paid for it. You should get compensated.
I agree.
In the NCAA,
I agree with
they
that.
don't do that. He went through it, and not only that, the NCAA, there's so many loopholes and little things that you can like back around. These universities bend over backwards to, skip over your grades or, hey, you didn't make it to class. They do everything possible for that person to be on the court or to be on the field.
Why though?
Why? Because that's where the money's at.
If their best player can't play, do you think people are going to go there? When LeBron James, and this is completely different NBA, when LeBron James isn't playing, ticket sales go down, everything goes down, sales aren't that good. You have this top player at this college, and he brings so much revenue in from TV, from everything. But you know what? You're not making $1. We're going to give you a free tuition, which I get. People say, man, you should be grateful for that. I'm very grateful for the scholarship. I get it's $30,000, $40,000 a year. But I'm very grateful if no one else is making money.
But everyone's making money off you.
That's what I'm saying. If everybody else had a free scholarship and they were working for free, awesome, man, everybody, that's totally cool. But when you have people that are making hundreds of millions of dollars, coaches making $6, $7, $8 million a year, and everybody is getting paid but the people that are performing, something's got to be changed, man. Something's got to be different. And again, I'm not saying this because I got suspended. I missed 15 games of my most important senior season.
The longest days of AJ's life,
Ever.
those 15 games.
And we're talking, they said I took $900. There's guys that are taking $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. But guess what? We're only going to give you 2 games because we need that money back. When you're sitting out, there's not ticket sales aren't as good. Your jersey's not selling as much. People are asking. The coach is on a hot seat because, hey, what you recruited this guy. He's one of the top players, and now he's not playing. So guess what?
It's going on all over the place. We saw what's
Come
going on
on.
with Rick Pitino and football and all that stuff. It happens everywhere. The NCAA is a big money machine,
Yeah.
and they just have these little cogs, athletes that they just exploit, obviously to different levels. And at the bottom line, it's bullshit. They don't get paid.
And we just want to jump into a little bit. You can see me and him are a little hostile right now talking
It's
about
heated.
it.
It's
We're
emotional.
serious though. We're serious. We want people to realize, hey, listen, I know people are so objective, college players shouldn't get paid. You have to give them something. We're talking last year, one of the best teams in the country, Shabazz Napier, plays for Connecticut. Did they win the national championship that year? They made it so
Yeah, they
far.
made it.
And you had this guy on national television, a scholarship athlete, say, I don't have money to eat.
Can you imagine that? Say, I'm a badass. I see myself on TV. There's sneakers and everything.
I got girls coming
There's
up
no
to
money
me.
in my pocket.
Everywhere I go, I got girls coming up to me. I got people asking for autographs. I turn on the TV. I'm on ESPN. You got to be a millionaire. No, I don't. I don't even have money to eat. We'll jump back into that. It gets me a little heated.
And going right into March Madness now that's coming
Ooh.
up. The biggest exploit right here, March Madness, a whole month of NCAA basketball. So I know that's exciting. I know that we talked about, Loyola. Shout out to Loyola. They made the tournament.
You know,
awesome.
Oni and I are Chicago till we die. We love it to see Loyola in there. I think it's been a while since they've been in the
Yeah, it
NCAA
has.
tournament. But shout out to Loyola.
And the women's DePaul basketball team also.
Hey,
made it,
Oni,
which is
when he knows his sports, he doesn't just do men's basketball. He watches them all, whether
maybe,
it's hockey,
maybe for
tennis.
Maybe the women, maybe for totally different
Well,
reasons.
I didn't. I wasn't gonna
But
say all
I know
that.
the NCAA tournament's coming up. I know that's going to be very exciting. And once nice shot. See, even he gets lucky. Once the Sunday selection comes out, the brackets will come out.
Yeah.
We can dive into more of that kind of stuff.
Oni and I, we're gonna do a special bracket. We're gonna do something that you guys can even do your own bracket. We may give a giveaway. I might ask Oni for $100, see if he doesn't mind.
We're not betting on this game, by the way.
Oh.
I know you guys think that we're not. The NCAA isn't here, but we're not betting on this game.
Also, why don't we dive into Houston Rockets? 17 in a row, one of the top teams in the NBA. Chris Paul is having the year of his life. James Harden, I mean, obviously everyone knows him, what he's doing.
Probably
Fear the
MVP.
beard.
Mike,
Oh.
he probably is going to be the MVP of the league. If you really think about it, I mean, although he disappeared last year against San Antonio in the playoffs in that Game 6, that wasn't James Harden, that was somebody else. But they have the beard was there, but it wasn't.
There was a different guy.
They have the same team except that they added CP3. CP3 is a monster, but in my heart of hearts, I just feel like when the playoffs come, it is totally different. Totally different than from the NBA regular season.
man.
NBA regular season, it's great. We're excited. It gets us ready. The seeds. But like LeBron came out the other day, seeds sometimes don't matter to good teams. I think Golden State beats them in a series. I just don't see anybody beating Golden State 4 times.
Houston scares me, and I get it. They got Chris Paul, they got a new team, they got the young guys, they got everybody just hyped up. 17 in a row. I think the record for them is 22, their franchise record. And hey, are you thinking about the record? No, we're not thinking about the record. We're just playing.
Yeah, we're hooping. We're hooping.
And what they are, listen, when you just hoop, you win 17 games in a row. When you're not worried about this person getting a shot or that person getting a shot, when you have the whole team running on cylinder and everybody they want to win, that's what happens.
Yeah, but can you run on cylinders when the world is watching? Not when it's just Houston watching. When you're on TNT and you got Marv Albert and
it's a little
Jackson,
different.
It's the pressure goes to different levels. So I'm excited
I want to see it. Listen, adding Chris Paul is huge. He's a whole different piece. Maybe he can take them to further in the playoffs. But there's just something about it when I see Houston Rockets in the playoffs and second round, it's coming up and this and that. It just scares me. Exactly.
It's a gauntlet of the West. And I just, you know what? I don't trust Mike D'Antoni. Any Mike D'Antoni team, they made it to the Western Conference Finals. With that, I agree. I do not trust.
Only speaking facts now. He's talking basketball way back.
I'm not talking about. I don't trust Mike D'Antoni when it comes to playoff basketball because all he's going to try to do is outshoot the Warriors. Yep. There's a lot of strategy there. I just don't trust it. I'm excited to see it happen, and I hope there's no injuries to anybody. I want a healthy Golden State, and I want a healthy Houston, and I want it to go, and I want a healthy everyone for the NBA playoffs.
I want them. I want to see them do well. It's not the fact I want them to do well. I just feel like the years passed, and I don't want to bring up old stuff, but that's what I feel every time I'm like, oh, Houston, they're making a run, they're going to be awesome. I'm like, but do they have what it takes? When the lights really turn on, when you got the whole world watching, when people are actually saying, hey,
it's a little different, right?
Hey, are these guys gonna make it right now? It's preseason, LeBron's just getting turned up, everybody's just getting into full circle.
I know you saw that shot.
So.
And I don't know why, like I said before, I want LeBron there at the end when Boston or whoever it is on the other side of it. I know they're a little more energized. They're still the third team in the East. We just saw Derrick Rose sign with the Timberwolves.
Hey.
Exciting.
Real quick, you guys know, playing with Derrick Rose growing up, 7th, 8th grade, all the way up to the high school, knowing him. We've watched him. I told you guys, we're Chicago. We live Chicago. We are Chicago. So to see somebody like that who we respect.
He's back with Tibbs.
Back with Tibbs, back with
Butler, Taj. You're throwing Noah and Boozer. It might as well. Is it team from 07 or 08?
No, but literally, hey, shout out to D Rose, man. We love to see good things happen. We told you, keep fighting, keep pushing it. And now he's on Minnesota. I'm excited to see that, though. I'm excited. You just brought basically the whole Bulls team with Thibodeau. You don't know what can happen.
Well, if anybody can get him to play right and play defense, Thibodeau's the guy.
I agree.
He's a no bullshit type guy.
And he knows him well.
I think he said he's going to get anything he has left in those knees, he'll get it out of him. So
is that what he said?
Yeah, I believe. Probably if you think about it, Minnesota's probably going to be. They'll be a threat to somebody. They got Wiggins, they got Karl Anthony Towns. In that second round, they could be a threat to somebody.
And I think they only get better. You have Derrick Rose, which we don't know what he's going to perform. We don't know how he's going to perform. But the fact that he's on a team now, he has more life to him. He's a different guy. When you're trying to find and the days are passing by, you're like, man, no one's picking me up.
Yeah, money that
he said it. He said it 100 times.
He's already getting paid a ton of money by Adidas.
He's made 200, 300, 400 million. So he doesn't care about the money.
The money, I think, to him is
he wants to play. And I'm telling you, from someone that I've known for a long time, he's never been about the money. He's always been someone that, hey, I just want to play. I just want to have fun. I want to have fun again. He lost that edge for a while.
Yeah.
And that's just because he was hurt. He wasn't playing. But let's jump. I know we talk a lot about college. We talk a lot about basketball. Oni, he kind of makes me feel better because he knows that I love basketball. So we talk about it more. But come on, let's give a little MLB. Spring training, it's starting. The season's almost here. Little MLB love for my brother.
Hey, when baseball is about to start, it just means the weather's going to get nicer. That's all it means.
So that's why I
love it. That means spring's already here, summer's coming, and it's going to be an exciting. Last year's World Series and playoffs were ridiculous. The Dodgers, Astros, so exciting. And
I feel like I see you a lot more during the baseball season.
I don't know why. It's a lot nicer, and I like coming around more. And it's exciting with the big cities with big teams, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Chicago Cubs.
What do you think of the Cubs?
Cubs will be good. They should be good. The division got tougher with the Brewers and the Cardinals doing their thing. So it's going to be. The Cubs lost Arrieta.
I didn't even know that too.
Yes, they lost. Well, he's a free agent. I mean, do you if you have $100 million you want to give him?
I was actually going to ask you.
You still got some of the NCAA money left over?
Hey, really quick, just not this quick only. I just want to make sure you guys get the shot, just so you guys can see what a great pool player I am.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You have any of that money left over?
Yeah, I think
but he hasn't signed with anybody. But the Cubs are going to be good. Wrigley Field, Burwood, all those bars are going to be packed with people because, if there's one thing about Chicago, and I've traveled all over the world, Chicago's a sports town through and through. Whether that be good, bad, or ugly. And people love their baseball in Chicago. They love their basketball. They love their hockey.
And hey, listen, I got to cut you off. You guys know I love to brag about Oni. He doesn't really like when I talk about it. I mean, we talk about Chicago. We talk about winning. We talk about the fans. We talk about the culture. I mean, you were part of the 2005 World Series.
No.
You're not as a fan. I mean, you were there. You were a part of it. You have a ring. Your family was. You brought that to Chicago. I mean, what is that?
Man, there's no place better to win. Because win other than Chicago. I mean, my dad was lucky enough to win in Miami. We were in Atlanta. Winning in Chicago is great.
It's like no other.
I think my dad still doesn't pay for any meals when he goes out to eat. So I couldn't imagine Michael, Ditka, all those guys going out. Phil Jackson, Chicago.
These diehard fans. Diehard fans.
Chicago, they'll recognize you forever for what you did, and they appreciate what you've done. So, but they're so intense. Every day it's like a new thing. Every day, the Sun-Times, the papers, they look at it, they live it, they
love
Chicago
you,
sports.
but
they also get on your ass.
They love you when everything is going right. When you're a winner, they want to praise you. When things aren't going right, though, I've heard
they kick on you, they'll do anything. That's why
whatever.
you got to do what you can, strike while the iron is hot, and win. That's why that window that the Cubs have is short, and hopefully this summer they can do something about it. And today's also, we forgot to Happy National Women's Day.
Hey,
to all the beautiful women out there,
we appreciate you guys. Without you guys, the world wouldn't be what it is today. Only National Women's Day. He knows, like I said, we don't just talk sports. We talk everything. The man is a human
hi, Mom.
encyclopedia. Okay, we talked about the NBA. We talked a little bit about baseball. The NCAA, I don't want to go crazy into it because we talked about it and it gets us so hyped up. But
a lot of emotions.
You play Division I baseball. You know the regiment. You know the constant, just how hard it is every single day. Class, you got to go meet your mentor. You got to go to watch videos. Then you have practice. Then you know what I mean. You got to find time for yourself. Schoolwork.
Study hall.
What do you think as an NCAA athlete was the hardest thing for you?
I think the hardest thing is to get used to the schedule.
Yeah.
Because I think once you're in high school, you still live at home with your parents. Mom still has a dinner waiting for you.
Come on.
Clothes being washed.
Where's your work? Did you do your homework?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Someone's on you. Come
exactly.
on. Right.
So everybody, you have to become an adult quicker than most college kids because you have so much more responsibility as far as like I gotta get my work done, I gotta lift, I gotta do that, and you're like, whoa, I've never done anything like this because usually it's school, practice, you go home to your parents, they do everything, blah blah, food's on the table. No, now you might get out of practice late, cafeteria's closed. Man, I gotta find somewhere to eat, or I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Oh my God, I forgot I have a test tomorrow, but I've been in the gym or on the field for the last 4 or 5 hours.
And there's nobody there, and that's the hard. There's no one that says, "Hey, turn your homework in. Hey, make sure you do this."
So grab your hand and say, "Come on." No.
You're on your own.
You're on your own. So I think time management, and you're also an 18-year-old kid. What do you think an 18-year-old kid wants to do away from his parents? You also want to have a social life. You also have the dorms.
Yeah, come on.
You want to party. So time management.
And everybody when they get to college, oh, we're partying this, that. Where were you guys going tonight? You look at them like, going. I had practice for 6 hours. I got to go to study hall.
You can barely walk.
You can barely walk.
Yeah, and you still want to party. You still want to have friends. You still want to socialize. So for me, it would be time management.
I like that's good. That's something that a lot of
for all the kids out there. Time management.
Kids that are trying to earn scholarships, Division I, II, whatever it is, time management. He's telling you right there. He lived it. He went through it. He knows what works. He knows how hard it was at first, but he still was able to succeed.
Yeah, and educate. I mean, when you go to school like that, for some people, school's easy. And for some people, school is very hard.
For everybody.
So I mean, you might need more time in the classroom than others. You might need more time in the gym. So to me, it's all about time management and being in the dorms and doing stuff like this, shooting
Yeah.
pool with your buddies.
You gotta have fun.
Talking and having fun, because those memories that you make with your friends. I know you still have a lot of acquaintances from when you went to college, and I still have a lot of friends when I went to college.
Some of the people that you
Lifetime.
that you meet in
Lifetime.
the people that you meet in college, and not just if you're an athlete, but those are some people that you'll be with for the rest of your life. And the ones that did play a sport with you, if you're an athlete, those are the ones that you went to war with every single day. Those are the guys that you woke up with at 5 a.m. to run suicides.
They
threw up.
They live it. Yeah.
They live right. They knew what you had to go through, and that's why sometimes it's not a bad thing. You'll have friends that aren't athletes, but it's hard. It's hard to
It's like
have
a family, like a family. Like a little family.
It's exactly what it is. It's hard to have friends that don't play sports because they can't
Relate.
They can't relate.
They can't relate.
Hey, you want to go out here, man? I wish I was up since 5 a.m. I went to class and then I got tutoring.
Right,
Oh,
they become like the brothers that you never had, and
Exactly.
all. I mean, it's just so much that goes into it, and I'm sure that now when you go back to Orlando, it's a home away from home.
home away from home for life.
Exactly.
I
Forever.
feel there's a comfort when I go there. It's like I'm in Chicago.
Well, if you would have sucked, they wouldn't. If you would have sucked, they wouldn't.
I would have liked it, obviously.
They would have got his ass out of there first year. Said you got to go, man. But you were good. So. They don't remember the bad players. I tell you that right now.
That's
so.
very true. Hey, only speaks on that. For me, I think the hardest thing for me in college, and I mean, there was a lot of stuff, but moving away from home, and me being such a family person, being the youngest of 5, my parents being very close with them, just always having a tight bond. And now I moved to a whole different state. I didn't know one person. I basically
You
grabbed.
started from scratch.
I started from scratch. Everything that I did in Chicago, I went to Florida and I was like, hey, I play basketball. You look like the manager. You look like the coach.
So you
do
might
not
be the
play.
water boy. But,
Exactly. And so I had to train my mind. Everything that I accomplished here, everything that I did in basketball, throw it out. Throw it out. That's done with. Now I had to prepare and show people, hey, I can play at the Division I level. I can play with the best of them. I don't care if you don't believe me. I'm going to show you that I can do it.
It also, if you don't think, it also helped that you were. I mean, from what I've seen,
Yeah.
you were at a very competitive high school. You every day was
Wait, I'm
like,
gonna go
whoa.
off that. High school was what made me. But
It
keep
kind
going.
of like prepared you not to be overwhelmed, to be like, because if you're playing in Iowa in a cornfield with 2 people in the stands, you'd be like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. But I think for you, playing at Whitney Young, being such a recognizable school, being around bigger crowds, being around playing against good competition, I think that kind of prepares you. If you think you didn't have that background,
If I would have went,
been,
I'm telling you,
shell-shocked.
and like you said, you're talking about sports and preparing me. If it wasn't for this type of school that Whitney Young is, one of the top academic schools in the country, I'm telling you, I wasn't a great student. Not the fact that
you were ready.
but I knew that I had to do well in class in order to play basketball. I knew that I had to do what was asked of me in the classroom to do what I love. And like we talked about before, not everyone's going to love school. Some people are awesome at it, some people are. I went every single day, and I did what was asked, and I played the sport that I loved, and that's what I did. And like I said, if I didn't choose such a great high school with athletics and academics, I probably would have failed out of college, just and being honest.
No, it's true.
Because you don't know when you get there and you're like, hey, you got 6 assignments done, this and that, you make
And
sure
you know what's hard? Anybody that's ever been there, I got an 8 o'clock class, you were just up till
5 o'clock.
3 or 4 in the morning, or you're not going to class. That's where it's gut check time. You have to pull yourself together and say,
Yep.
I have to go, because, I mean, that's what you're there
This is
for.
what you're there for, and guess what? When you don't want to do it, Oni, my man, we appreciate you coming here. Your flight
Good
leaves at
riddance.
6, and
We
yeah,
don't
we
need
wish you the best.
You know why? Because there's guys lined up ready to take your spot. Even at practice.
Practice.
Even at practice,
They
people
got
are coming
guys that they're
people are
looking
coming.
at other
Different
schools.
recruits.
Yeah, different recruits. That's why I say you got to be on your A game. But I think that just adjusting to the whole different, changing cities, changing all new friends, going to a place where no one even knows me, but being able to excel, because you said I was a competitor. I wasn't going there just being like, oh man, I'm happy. I'm in Florida now. No, I went there with say, hey, I earned a scholarship. Now I'm about to show you guys what I can do. I'm about to put you guys on the map. I'm
Yeah,
going to put the
everybody-
school on the map
Everybody always wants your spot.
every single day.
People are
Whether you
coming
have a, listen.
You don't think there's people on that canvas that say, this is a fucking
This guy's
recruit?
here? Come
I
on.
said, I can take his ass.
And listen, don't take it in a bad way, but you have friends, you have people on the team. Those are your friends. It's a family, but you got to remember those people want to play too. They're doing the same thing that you are. That's why I had to outwork everybody. It's not a bad thing. You want to see your teamates do well, but you
you're
also want to
competing.
play.
You're competing.
You're competing every single day for a spot.
And I think that's the same thing, in life. What happens when you don't do your job at work? Somebody else will come in
Hey,
and take your ass. And you
We
get fired.
appreciate you.
Exactly.
Next.
So I mean, I think just compete. You got to compete and try to adapt to everything that new college life, brings to you.
So true.
Yeah,
Is there anything else that you want to jump in on, or do you feel like that was pretty good?
No, I mean, I think we've covered everything that we wanted to cover as far as this show. Even touched on National Women's Day.
National Women, we touched everything. Baseball, basketball. We thanked all the women who have helped us, molded us today, been a part of our life. But, I mean, we can't thank you guys enough. That was podcast number 4, The Insider. I got Oni Gian, my man. He even gave you guys a little insight on the 2005 World
I'm a
Series.
professional pool player now.
As you guys can see, we're not the greatest of pool players. We're working on it. We're going to become better. But in all honesty, man, we want to thank you guys so much, again, for the feedback, the comments. That was luck.
Luck. I don't believe in luck. You make your own luck. No, I'm kidding. I play the lottery all the time. But thank you guys, and it was great. Keep the questions coming. And I know March Madness and all stuff's going to be exciting, so.
Podcast number 4, The Insider, my man Oni. Hey, make sure you guys keep staying tuned. In a couple of weeks, we're going to do some signed giveaways, so we'll talk about that later.
Perfect. There's a lot there. By the way, I made a lot.